Throughout the years, customers have asked us about microphones. And microphones come in very different categories, and it really depends on how you're going to use them. Are you going to use them at home for your personal use, just to get a little more volume and some reverb? Are you looking to perform, maybe do some coffee house work, be on stage, or community service? Or do you wish to record? There are lots of options out there. So one of the things we recommend when you go to a store and you go shopping, bring your flute with you, see if they'll allow you to try the mic right then and there to get a feel for it. That may not be an option for you, so find out what the return policy is. So when you take it home for a couple of days, you can give it a try, see if you like it. You may want to exchange it for something different, or you might want to return it altogether. When it comes to microphones for flutes, there are basically three different categories. You've got the lapel mic, the freestanding performance mic, and the recording microphones. So in this section, we're going to go over all three of those types of microphones just to see how well that'll fit for you. The lapel microphone is an ideal microphone for the flutes because it can be attached to the flute itself. Its advantage is that it can be volume and the sound can be controlled because it can be attached. You can move in your room or on stage while you're playing, and they're small and compact. So if you need to transport them or travel, they're easy to use. The lapel mic can be used in several different ways, but the most common thing to do with them is to mount them right on the flute to the side of the fipple. Velcro is a great device to attach them with. Another way to use them is to put them right on the upper part of your garment. That way you can change out flutes very quickly, very easily. The only downside to that would be that the volume and the sound quality shifts around a little bit because you tend to move away, up and down or away from the microphone as you move around. The lapel mic, like all electronic instruments, has a wide array of quality and of pricing. The lapel mic that's under $50, we found are an acceptable quality, and it allows you to really get an idea by using it, how much you're going to use it. Do you like them? If you decide that you wanted a better quality or budget is not an issue, a good price range is between $100 and $200. Now, those lapel mics do have a noticeably better quality. They're more crisp and they're fuller. But our immediate recommendation is to go with a lapel mic that's under $50 because it allows you to see if you really like it, and if you do, you can always upgrade. The freestanding microphones, you've got a lot of options. There are a lot of brands out there and a lot of different styles. The biggest advantage to them is you can move instruments back and forth without having to attach anything to them. The other advantage you'll find is when you go to play, you can move away or you can move towards the microphone for fading in, fading out, or any kind of special effect that you might want to achieve. And if you want to go ahead and move away on stage without having a microphone attached to it, like a lapel mic, it'll be much easier without having the audience be distracted by extraneous noises. The best mic we found is a vocal mic. It turns out that the flute is in the same range as the human voice. So vocal mics are ideal for this. And the other aspect to this is a cardioid microphone. Cardioid describes how the microphone takes in the voice. In this case, it takes it in directly from the front. So it ignores any voice and sound that comes from the left and right or from the back. That also means it ignores some feedback. So it's perfect for performance. You can get a microphone for a stage under $75, and it's decent quality. The nice thing about that is it allows you to try it, give it a shot, see if you really like it. But if money's not an issue or you want to upgrade, then somewhere between $100 and $300 would be just about right. Now the tonal quality on those mics tend to be significantly better. They tend to be a little more crisp and a little fuller. But we found for those of us that are just basically starting, I would say $75 and under, go with that. It gives you the experience and you can always upgrade. The recording microphones are precision instruments. Their components are very sensitive. They pick up the slightest sound and vibration. You want that for recording a flute. When looking for a recording microphone, check out the vocal mics. That's ideal because the flute is in the human vocal range. Also, what's important in picking up a microphone, and it's normally an afterthought, in this case you want to make it a part of the microphone. They tend to be heavy, so they need a really good solid microphone stand. You don't want it to float because it's heavy, because it doesn't tighten down enough, and you want it to be really, really solid. You can record with a performing microphone, but if you're going to record a lot and that's really your intention, our suggestion is to stick with a microphone that's more sensitive. It'll be a fuller sound. I think you'll be much happier with it. In terms of pricing, a good mic is somewhere around $150, $250. That's about the starting point. But those are really good mics. They will satisfy you. They're crisp and they're full. Now, if budget's not an issue, you can go from $300 into thousands. We don't recommend that. A microphone that's $150 to $250 will satisfy most of our recording needs. Amplifiers and recording equipment are a very popular subject for flute players. An amplifier is basically a speaker or several speakers that amplifies anything that you put through the microphone. The recording equipment nowadays is computers and small digital devices that you can record all your songs on. And that's just a huge range of all those equipment. I mean, it's amazing. And we can't practically cover it all. So in this section, we're going to be talking about what's widely used in the flute world. I never forget the first time I ever played a flute on a microphone and a little speaker with a reverb system. Oh my gosh. That made all the difference in the world. I got really excited because the extra volume and the reverb that really takes that sound and brightens it up and expands it, it makes you sound so good. So I remember I went out and bought a karaoke machine immediately, and that is actually a good alternative for an amplifier. The karaoke machine has a little bit of reverb on it, and it also has a recording device, so you can play a CD and play along with it. The particular karaoke machine that I bought had the ability to be able to put batteries in it so I could take it with me. That brings me to a point. When you're buying an amplifier, it's really nice to have the ability to make it portable. And so there are quite a few units out there that are just strictly an amplifier speakers. They have a little bit of reverb, and they have the ability to be either plug into the wall or you can charge the battery. There are several brand names that are well known out there as the Roland Cube. There's the Limo, the taxi unit that's made by Crate. Quite a few others are out there, and most of them are pretty good. Now, when you get into larger amplifiers, that most of the time they do not have reverb on them. So you probably will have to purchase, and the only reason to buy one is because you like bigger volume, and a little bit louder, more volume, and a little bit cleaner sound, especially at higher volume. You have to buy a special effects unit to be able to get reverb and echo and all that. There are lots of those out there, and they're relatively inexpensive, but you want to try them because not all reverbs are the same. So it's good to buy them from a store that has a return policy. You could take it with you. If you can't try it in a store, take it home and see if you like it. You can exchange it or return it. The other aspect to these larger amplifiers is the majority of them are made for electric guitars or bass guitars. What you're looking for is an acoustic amplifier for acoustic instruments. The flute, obviously an acoustic instrument, so all of the speakers in there and all the components are tuned and created so that you get the optimum sound for acoustic instruments. If you go beyond that, you want to play a lot on stage, coffee houses, or community functions, then you're probably looking for a PA system. And PA stands for public address system. They tend to have two separate large speakers and a control unit that you can plug several microphones in. A lot of them have reverb built in, or you can put a reverb unit in. They tend to range anywhere from around, you're looking at about $500 to $800. But our recommendation is, if you were looking for a nice amplifier, look at the smaller units that are battery operated, that have a little bit of reverb, and you can plug it into the wall. I think you'll really have fun with those. Well, after you've played your first few songs on a microphone, you really get to experience how wonderful it sounds. There's a motivation to want to record. It can be very fun, and actually it could be really simple. Now, if you have the budget, you can go into a recording studio where you have a recording engineer that do all that for you, but most of us are really not inclined to do that. So the option that's available that's very common is to use a computer or a small little digital recording device. The small little digital recording devices have external microphones, and you can take them anywhere, so you can record your songs wherever you are. And then you can download those songs onto your computer and use the software to go ahead and manipulate it. Now, some of your computers, like the Apples, they come with a software that's free. It's called GarageBand. It's a very user-friendly editing program, and you can record with it. The Windows machines tend to be able to download software that comes for free, recording software that's free. The one that I remember that's used a lot is called Audacity. The biggest challenge with any of these programs or any of the recording idea is really learning the programs. It's not recording. That's a no-brainer. You buy a microphone, plug that into your computer, play the song that you really like, and it records it. Now it's about learning how to manipulate this within the software, add a little bit of reverb, and then also burn it on a disc. Now, if you buy software, more sophisticated software, many times it will dictate that you use a mixer because they assume they're going to use more than one microphone. A mixer is a small device that you can plug in several microphones, or one or several microphones, and then you plug that mixer into the computer, and it will allow you to use a number of microphones to be able to download the song. It doesn't have a huge effect on the software. You still have to learn the software. But that's the biggest challenge. But the fun part is, once the CD is done, you're able to give that to your friends. You're able to go ahead and even sell them. So don't be intimidated by it. The information is out there. You'll be able to access it.